Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and today is 3D Thursday. Not exactly the easiest thing to say, and it's a series that myself, Crafty Karen Designs, and Vicky Lou Designs are running through the month of May, and I'm really hoping that I'll be able to extend this beyond May, but I wanted just to test it before I then go into June and July. So 3D Thursday means today I'm going to make something that's going to fit this hand cream. I bought these pack of hand creams, I think there was about 4 of them, just from a supermarket, and they're really pretty and they smell lovely. And I thought that with the 2 that I've got left over that I would gift them. And what an ideal way of making a gift box for those. So that's what I'm going to do. Now what I've chosen, I'm a real fan of monochrome, especially with black and white. So I've got some black cardstock and I'm using this perfectly penciled 12 by 12 paper. We'll only need a bit of it, so I'll be able to make quite a few things and perhaps some coordinating cards. And this is the paper. Let me just bring this closer to you rather than moving my camera. I really like that. It's got some stripes in there, some dots, some check, and then these lovely flowers, which you can choose to colour in some of them. You can choose to colour in just one of them. I'm actually going to choose to colour in none of them. And I'm thinking what I might do is maybe put a splash of colour in this at the end. I'm going to see what the project looks like. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that to one side. Whoops, knock the camera while I'm doing that. And then get a piece of basic black. Now I think I've worked the measurements out properly because I think you can make 2 of these. Can you make 2 of these? No, you can just make one with one piece of paper. Sorry, I was thinking of something completely different. So let's get my paper trimmer, which I've left down here, and so we want a piece of cards that measures 8 1/4, and UK A4 cardstock is 8 1/4 inches along the short side. So perfect for this. This is a prototype, not done it in this size before, so we'll see what happens. And then on the long side, we're going to trim that down to 7 1/2. So you've got that left over, which would be nice, I think, to use on the front of a coordinating card. I'll have a look, have a think about that. Maybe that will come up in a project in the future. And then I'm going to get my scoreboard out to do my scoring. I find that I'm more accurate with the scoreboard. But it is a bit of a beast to get it onto one camera shot. So there is I want the long side. So what I did is I measured all of these measurements here. So I took the widest part of this tube, which was 2 inches across, or it's just a little bit under. The height of it is just a little bit under 5 inches, and at what else did I measure? The depth of it, I think that was no more than 1 1/2. And if I'm making a gift box for something, I like something to fit quite snug in it. I don't want it kind of rattling about in it. So the box that I'm decided to make, I did make a box before, and it was like a gift bag, and it just went wrong because it was just too wide and this was too close to the top and it wouldn't close. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board on that one. But what I'm going to do is just make a proper box with a lid that shuts, and we're going to close it down with some ribbon. I'm hoping you get to see my thought processes in this. So this is 8 1/4 across, and we are going to score this at 1 1/2. So this is the bottom, and then at 6 1/2. So that's going to fit in there. All that is tight like that, but that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be tight in there. You can really customize your boxes so that they fit. So 6 1/2 and 8, and then what that leaves, that's then our lid. So that's the bottom, the main part of the box, and the lid. And this is the little kind of flap that goes over the lid that just tucks into the inside. So now we'll work on the panels of the main box itself. So because it's 2 inches wide, we're going to score at 2. It's 1.5 inches kind of deep. So 2 and then 3.5. 5.5 and 7. And that leaves us with 1/2 inch here, and this will be the tab that keeps the whole thing together. So now we've done that, we are going to do some cutting into that. Now I know I haven't picked the best colour to demonstrate it. To be honest, I don't think there is an ideal colour to demonstrate this. But I'm hoping if I can tip this into the sun, because I work right in, there is my window, so I work right in front of the window. Hopefully you'll be able to see what's going on. So I'm going to use my snips because they're nice and accurate. So this is the box as we're going to kind of fold it into each other. So this is the bottom. Please make sure that you take note of what is where. You can even pencil on these if you wanted to. So you could write a B on here for bottom and a T up here for top. We know it's the top because it's got that little 1/4 inch tab there. So at the bottom here, I'm just going to cut up to the first score line. So that's not very good. Each of these score lines, vertical ones, we're going to cut up to the first score line. There's me talking and not concentrating. Do need to fold and burnish first, otherwise these start flapping about all over the place. So fold and then burnish. So that's your score line. Then we fold it, and the burnishing is to make those nice and crisp. And then we'll do these as well. So that's what happens when I talk and don't concentrate. So this 3D Thursday, Fun Fold Friday, and also a colour challenge as well that we're doing each week. I'm doing this with Crafty Karen Designs. She's also on YouTube, and Vicky Lou Designs. She's just on a blog, but I'll be leaving links to their projects in my blog post, and all you need to do is just click on the description bar. If you look on the description bar below this video, all of the links to everything you're going to need are on there. Okay, right, let's get back to this, and I'm going to continue. Hopefully you can see that if I just tilt it into the sun. Just going to cut up each of these score lines like that. Now this side here, we've got a rectangle that runs all the way down, that's 1/2 inch. And we're going to cut away a bit of that. We only want to be left with this middle section. So I've already cut up that one. So you're going to cut diagonally into that where those two lines meet. Okay, you can see that. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. So I'm going to cut diagonally up to where those two lines meet, and then what we have here is another rectangle, and it's teeny tiny rectangle there, and we're just going to cut both of those off. I do like to do this bit nice and slowly. I know when I used to start watching paper crafting videos a while ago, and I'm kind of shouting at my phone going, slow down. So some people might watch this and think, oh, you're going really slow, Donna, speed up a bit. But you can scroll on ahead if you need to, if you know what you're doing. Now, what I like to do is work out where the back of my box is, because that's really where I want my tab. So if I move this over, that's the seam, and I want that to be at the back of the box. So this bit here needs to be my lid. Okay, so it's the opposite to where this is going. So there's the tab that holds it all together. This is the lid that will fold front. So what we're going to do is get rid of all of this. So we've got these 3 kind of squares and rectangles here, and then these 3 mini ones here. So I'm just going to very carefully show you how I'm going to get rid of all of that. So I'm just going to cut along all of these. It is a little bit of waste, but if we're looking at 1 piece of card per box, that's not bad going. And when you're cutting, try and cut in as one long snip as you can rather than snippety snipping. Does that actually make sense? But that's what I mean by that. And then this tab here, this teeny tiny one here, you are just going to make 2 small wedges so you have a little bit of an angle. Can you see that? And then here, like that. Okay, now before we make up the box, let's decorate it. So you can just put DSP on these bigger panels because we tend not to see the sides, and that contrast is quite nice. And I can't decide if I'm going to do that or not. I think I will. I think I will do that. I think I will actually stick a piece of DSP on each of these. You can also do the lid as well. We'll do that last. Let's move that over. So what I'm going to do is just I'm going to keep an eye on the direction. So this is the direction top to bottom, and I want this to fit on there like that. So I'm going to take this here and I'm going to make a cut at 4 7/8. And it's not until this is on when you might decide whether you want to add any colour to it or not. Now the next thing I'm going to do is then cut each of these panels and then try and keep them in the same order. So the first one that I want is 1 7/8. I'll show you what I mean in a second by keeping them in the same order. So 1 7/8, 1 3/8. I'm just taking 1/8 of an inch off the size of each panel. And then another 1 7/8. And then another 1 3/8. Like that. If you're working with scraps of DSP, then you're not going to get that effect. But because I had a nice big clean sheet of DSP, I was able to, I've got all of that to match, and all that's going to happen is it's just going to get separated as we put them on top of the box. Now at this point, you can decide, well, are we going to colour these in? And I'm really tempted right now to put some red in here, because one colour combo that I really love is black, white and red. Now we don't have, I have got a real red Stampin' Blend. I'm just looking at my Stampin' Blend, but I'm thinking actually I'm going to go with a Poppy Parade. Oh, that's Melon Mambo. Oh, now I don't know. I've got a Poppy Parade pen, marker this is, and a Melon Mambo. Now I could go black, white and red, or black, white and pink. And I'm really steering towards the pink. But I think I'm going to stick with the red, just because that is my favourite combo. Now I'm not going to colour all of these. I don't want to colour all of them. I want to colour one per panel. So, and I'm just colouring the leaves. So this is just in a marker. You might have the blends. I'm going to pick one down here. I'm going to take them really randomly. get those coloured in like that, and I'm going to stick a little bit of extra colour in, I think. I don't know, I'm kind of just thinking as I go along. You get to see my thought processes as I'm crafting. Then I'm going to come here, I think. There isn't a right way and wrong way of crafting. Here in the UK, we have a programme. I watched a lot of it during lockdown when we couldn't get out and about. And it was called the, what was it called? The British Portrait Artist of the Year. And I would watch these people painting portraits and watch how a picture evolved. Gosh, it was amazing. And I'm in complete awe of anybody that can do that. And all I'm doing here is a little bit of colouring. That's all. And I am actually going to get Daffodil Delight. So these markers are the the bright ones. I'm going to stick a little bit of yellow in there, a little bit of yellow in there. I'm really not thinking a whole lot about it. A bit of yellow in there and a bit in there. And then we'll get Granny Apple Green out. I hadn't intended to do all of this. So let's just put a little bit of green in here. I just want a splash of colour. That's all I want. So I'm going to tell you about our joining offer while I'm doing this. So during May only, if you decide to join Stamping Up, and sometimes you can join just because you want to have the discount on your future purchases. You don't have to demonstrate things by having a Facebook page and a YouTube channel and a blog. Absolutely don't need to do that. You can just take advantage of the discount. But the advantage of joining in May, if you want to come and join Team Taffy, is that not only do you get to choose £130 of products and pay only £99, or the EU equivalent if you're in France, Germany, Austria or Holland, but you also get completely for free the 5 in colour stamp pads, the pack of A4 in the new in colours cardstock, and also the Designer Series paper stack. Absolutely amazing offer. £62.50 worth of freebies. So if you're interested in that at all, I've left my email address. What have I done here? I've left my email address. Done it all the wrong way. I've left my email address in the description bar. Okay, so I'm just going to stick those on there like that. Once you've joined, there's no obligation to stay. I'm not going to make you buy a certain amount of goods. There's absolutely no obligation after that. You can take your kit and run and just take advantage of that offer. I will invite you to our Facebook group page where you can meet all of the other people within our team. I've joined 2 other teams and plus also my uplines team. So your choice, you can get to meet and communicate, join lots of other people, lots of other crafters, or you can choose not to. There's absolutely no pressure. You tell me just what you would like from the group. You might want to start a business from it. And myself and Stamping Up will support you there as well. Just drop me a line and I can tell you all about it. No obligation. I won't be upset if once I've given you all of the information you decide not to join. That's absolutely fine. Okay, there are my 4 panels on there, just with a little splash of colour. Now I've got to decide in a moment if I want to decorate the lid. I'm still not sure yet. Before I decide that, what I'm going to do is run some tear and tape just on the outside of that tab there so I can form the box. And I'm also going to put some tear and tape on the lid, on the base. So what do I need? Oh, I need to put some tear and tape on the inside there and the outside there. So if you're following along with me, if you've got your tab here, it's the second big rectangle, or it's the second rectangle from the tab. Okay, you can see there what's going on. And then on the outside here, we will run some tear and tape just along that score line, super close to it, not going over it, otherwise you'll stick to it. So let's put this together. I'm going to get my take your pick tool. Let's lift this off first. Now once that's come off, fold it inwards like that and then bring this over. And if your score lines have been nice and accurate, that should come over and meet it. That's why it's always important to just take your time over your measurements and your cutting and your folding. And that you can't even see that join. And that pattern runs all the way around. So the bottom, what we're going to do is put the inside flaps in, push forward, which is what I call the back flap, and then the front flap will come to the back, and then it doesn't really matter what way that goes, but it's just to get the seams to the back so they're less visible. Just in case whoever the recipient of this box, if they wanted to pick it up and see just how accurate your score lines are. Somebody did that to a box after I'd gifted it to them. I think I must be quite offended. It's never happened to me before. So there's our box, and if we just push that in there, that then fits nicely. So that's our box. Now there's a couple of things we have to do. Firstly, check that fits. That fits perfectly. Not a lot of wiggle. It's a bit of wiggle because of the shape of it. But there's a couple of things I want to do. I think I am going to decorate the top of this. So I need a piece of DSP. I've got a little bit of scrap here, and that's going to measure 1 7/8 by 1 3/8. So let's get that out. Now I need to think about the size of it and the direction. So I need that to be 1 7/8. Always best to check before you do that cut by 1 3/8. Now the other thing that we need to do, we've got to put a little nick in there so that we've got some sort of thumb thing that can, there is probably a technical name for it. And I'm not going to colour that because I'm not. And I'm not going to colour that because it's probably going to have some ribbon over it in a second. I'm still trying to think ahead. Right, I'm just going to grab a little punch that I've got. Now, this punch is no longer available. So I shouldn't really be demoing it because I can't actually sell it. But there's no way I'll ever get rid of this 1/2 inch punch. For this reason. In that I can do a little thumb notch. Don't know if you can see that. Like that. And now I've got a little thumb notch. So that when I push that in there like that, oh, I've done it on the wrong bit. I can't believe I did that. This is where the thumb notch needs to be. Oh, gosh. I don't edit my videos, okay? I don't edit them. Just gives a laugh for everybody else. Now I've got a thumb notch on there so I can actually grab that. Oh, dear. So now that goes in there like that. Now something else first that I want to do before I complete this project is I'm going to close this with some ribbon and a bit of a sentiment, and I'm still kind of thinking ahead at the moment. I'm going to choose my ribbon first, and gosh, there's lots of different types of ribbon that we could use. I've got a gold ribbon there. Actually, the black, white and gold is really pretty. Let's go with that. Didn't need much persuading there. And I'm going to put a heart on this, I think, although I think the heart might cover it up. Let's see what we can do. I know what we can do. We'll have a teeny tiny little sentiment on it, because this is all about the box and its contents, and not the sentiment at the front. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of scrap of black rather than using the slightly bigger piece of black that I had just now. And with the double oval punch, I'm just going to punch that out, and I'm going to sit that on there, and I'm going to let the ribbon, which is going to go right over that flower, I'm going to let the ribbon go underneath that. And then with a scrap of white, which I've got over here somewhere, I'm going to find a little sentiment to stamp on there and then punch that out as well. I'm going to use the Wildflower Path stamp set and take this thank you sentiment here, because I think that will fit quite nicely into the smaller oval. So let's get that on a block. Probably chosen a block that's too big. That doesn't matter. I've got some Memento ink. And just stamp that onto my card. That's a bit blobby. Might do it on the other side. Let's come around the other side. I think I might have just picked up too much ink on there. That's better. And that just fits on there. I'll save that for another time. So I'll put that on there with some mini stamping dimensionals. I'm just using some scrap off of this actually. I'm just going to pick some stuff off the ends so that that doesn't go to waste. Let's put this onto the back of this. I put this actually onto the black oval. Now you could just put your gift in the box, close the box, and then put that on there, but having the ribbon round it just makes it that bit more secure. And if I'd really thought about it, I wouldn't have put the ribbon on there, but my mistakes you know, help you not make the same mistakes that I make. There's a reason I make those mistakes. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Right, we'll take the backing off of those. Just clean my desk and I have to clean it all over again. Now, red ribbon on this would have been lovely, and black ribbon would have been even better, but we don't actually have any black ribbon. No, I'm just looking to see what else I've got. Oh, I know what I've just found. Red ribbon. Now, I might be a bit naughty here. I don't think this ribbon is actually current at the moment. And I just need to put that bit of dimensional there and there so that the ribbon can run behind it. Like that. So just be aware that if you're making something like this, and if you're going to colour it, make sure that your flower can be seen. I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Oh, actually, I've only got a little bit of that ribbon left, so that's good. We can just use the last of that. And all I'm going to do is just tie this Really, the point of making this box was to show off the perfectly penciled paper. For all of you monochrome theme lovers. Right, I'm just tying a bow there. I'm not very good at doing bows, especially on camera. And I would normally just fiddle about with that for a little while. And I'll go back to that and trim off the ends once I've got that right. That bow is way too big. So there you are for my 3D Thursday, a gift box that has been custom designed to fit what's in there. So I hope that you like it. I hope you like that paper. I've covered up that one as well. Brilliant, isn't it? So learn from the master of mistakes. Don't colour where your ribbon's going to go. Thank you ever so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.